Hello and welcome to Film 2021, The Art of Adaptation. Today we're going to talk about films that do cite other literary works, but not necessarily a direct adaptation. So, in such films, the production of a play or involvement of the characters in recreation of a play is shown as a counterpoint to the story of the film. Filmmakers might use these texts for different reasons. Sometimes to just show a connection between the main themes of the story and the play that they are involved in the process of making. Also, the characters of the play or events of the play can have direct impacts on the actors or the directors and within the story. For example, a character who is taking the role of someone might have similar reactions to certain events, or sometimes the audience would expect similar reactions because they are reminded that they are making this play, for example. Sometimes there is no direct relationship between the characters of the play they're citing and the characters of the movie, like this movie that is assigned for this week, The Salesman. So, in a way, it requires deeper attention to these texts to figure out what was in the director's mind to use that text as a counterpoint. But for example, with this Hungarian film, Mephisto, that was made in 1981, the actor is actually taking the role that he is playing. He's an actor in a play based on Faust, and it happens in his real life. He's becoming a Nazi, selling his consciousness to devil. To understand theatricality in cinema, we need to understand how they are different. In cinema, we expect more realism, while in theater, the signs are interpreted as signs. It's the constructed space, and the spectators know that. So, if there's a bedroom, if there's a factory in the stage play, the interpreters understand the superficiality of that construct. For example, the act of dying in theater is very different. It's a very performative act. It's not realistic at all, the way people fall in theaters. And for a long period of time in cinema, movies were inspired by theatrical act of death rather than realistic act of death that is usually very sudden and usually unexpected. In movies, however, the medium is supposed to be a transparent window to the real world. So, theatricality, in a way, is a disruption of cinematic ways of addressing the audiences. And at the same time, theatricality has a political role in telling us about the illusion of realism in cinema, and also the fact that even in our day to day life, we adapt a role. We perform based on a screen direction. In the next clip that I want to show from Lilies by John Grayson, a French Canadian play that is adapted into English Canadian production, you can see this transformation from a more constructed space of theater into a realistic filmic experience. However, this realism is never fully fulfilled as it's a theater in prison, so all the female characters are played by men. Even after that transformation into the cinematic space, still the actors who are playing female roles are men, just play them a little more realistically.
Do you remember Edison and the Tsar?
No.
Did you Anderosia's balloon?
No.
You must remember Hotel Roberval. You worked there. Gentlemen, let's refresh his memory.
My name is Jean Bilodeau. I was born in 1894 in Roberval on the shore of Lac Saint-Jean, famous for its golden waters. Roberval was a typical French-Canadian village, proud of its parish church, its convent, its little harbor, its boys' school where Simone and I were best friends. I was very young when I decided to become a priest. The days went by without incident, without tragedy, until those French aristocrats from another era settled in town. Then came the opening of the hotel with its rich and immoral guests. I'll never forget the arrival of that woman in a balloon. Never.
Gloria in excelsis Deo, et in terra pax hominibus bone voluntatis. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Laudamus Deo, benedicimus Deo.
Watch out, mother.
What's going on here?
Good day, Mr. Doucet.
Quicker, come on.
Good day,
Right
Countess.
there. The balloons
Vexations
go around
from
there.
Paris.
I know balloons.
Really, my friend, can't you ask him to clear the way? Right away.
Oh, it's for one and each fishing, isn't it?
Ah, a connoisseur.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Are you staying at the hotel?
Oh no, we live here. We've been here for the last 2 years.
I'm Baroness Sylvia de Hue, my husband, Baron Geoffroy de Hue.
Tragic actor. Countess Marie-Laure de T. Baron and Baroness de Hue.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is mine. Have you come from Paris?
We've been traveling for almost 2 weeks.
I can't wait to hear your news about my husband.
Mother, do I know him?
Well, everyone in Paris knows him.
Mr. Doucet!
This use of theatricality in films also triggers a sense of liveness, live performances, as well as a moment of recognition for the character through, again, the meta text that they are involved in its production. In the next clip that I've chosen from The Birdman, you can see the tension and also the liveness of that tension as you can hear the audiences, so they don't have time, but at the same time, the spectators of the films would identify themselves with the spectators in that live theater. And so, even for that reason, a sense of liveness is passed to the experience of this film.
I think I'm hard.
No, you're not. It's just that sometimes you don't consider other people's feelings.
No. I'm getting hard. Feel that.
Are you kidding me?
Let's really do it. Let's really fuck.
No, are you crazy?
No, it's incredible. It'll be so real. Trust me.
Get out, Mike. I'm serious, Mike.
Don't call him Mike. Call me Mel. Mel.
Get off. Get off me. Ed?
Why?
What are you doing here?
I just need you to tell me why.
Take it easy. Take it easy. I know this is hard.
Shut up! Shut up!
Don't do anything stupid. Hey!
Eddie, please.
What's the matter with me? Why do I always end up having to beg people to love me?
Eddie, please give me the gun. Look at me. I was drowning. I'm just not capable of... You deserve to be loved, Eddie. You do.
I just wanted to be what you wanted. Now I spend every fucking minute praying to be somebody else, somebody I'm not. Anybody.
Okay, just put the gun down, Ed. She just doesn't love you anymore.
You don't, do you?
No,
And you never will?
I'm sorry.
I don't exist. I'm not even here. None of this even matters. I don't exist. I don't exist.
Ed.
I don't even exist.
Ed! Hey, no, don't do that!
Such an asshole.
Are you kidding me? That's the best I've seen.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're a mistake.
It's like my head could draw a bolognese.
Give me the blood drink. I'll fix it.
They're fucking in a motel.
You've got to be shitting me. You can't get it up in 6 months and now you want to fuck me in front of 800 strangers?
Look, I needed to feel real, okay? I need that intensity. You've known that about me from the
you.
beginning. I was in the moment. I thought that you were too. I'm sorry.
I told you to stop, you fucking animal.
You were brilliant. Brilliant.
What's wrong with you? I want your shit out of the apartment.
What? No, wait. Okay, look. I'm sorry. Can we just...
No, we can't, Mike.
Salesman by Asghar Farhadi, who was made a couple of years after The Birdman, has similar scenes like that when the theatrical scenes are changed based on the tension between the actors involved, for example. In Farhadi's Salesman, there are also scenes with allegorical meaning, something between the original American play and Farhadi's cinema. For example, look at the next scene. In this scene, the actor, who is also a teacher, is playing the moment of the death of the salesman. So he is in a coffin. And it is in that performance that he invited his students to attend the performance. Beautifully filmed in this scene, the students are watching the death of their teacher, symbol of authority or guidance. And you can see the close-ups of each of these students that we encountered throughout the story.
عزیزم منو ببخش. من نمیتونم گریه کنم. آخه چرا با خودت این کار کردی؟ سر در نمیارم. ویلی کمکم کن. همش فکر میکنم رفتی سفر. هنوز منتظرتم. ویلی من امروز قسط آخر خونه را دادم. همین امروز. ولی تو دیگه نیستی که توش زندگی کنی. ما دیگه بدهی نداریم. ما آزاد شدیم.
So for this week, after reading Death of a Salesman, it's not actually a very long play. Watch this movie, Salesman by Asghar Farhadi, and think of all this issue. Why actually that play, that American play about American dream is used in this setting? You can also think of the idea of fidelity that we discussed in previous weeks. Do you think the soul of the play has been transferred into the movie? The objects, the main themes, for example, even the sound, the flute, for example. And finally, you can think of other citations, other intertextual citations in these films about other texts.